months, it could be dismissed.
I assume they would just be returned to their previous rank, right?
Right. I think that would have to be some kind of clause or something because
Sure.
I'll be honest, I after talking even to shift 2 people, even though I believe a lot of people would be well suited to be commissioner or chief or whatever, nobody wants to do it for a month or two and then be without a job.
My idea is that that commissioner role would exist as long as that person is deemed effective by the state.
Okay.
And if we're gonna give that person direction, see, I'm so pleased that you touched on that when you began to ramble a little bit. That was kind of the synopsis that we reached. That there is no true like future proof vision or direction currently.
Right.
So and really that honestly, in theory, we could provide your captains with this vision, and then things would probably get
Hmm.
better. But the way I see it is that if you're able to reach that conclusion, if I'm able to reach that conclusion, if my auditing team is able to reach that conclusion, if certain assets of the state are able to reach that conclusion, and they haven't been able to reach that conclusion in 2.5 months, I don't think that they're qualified at all for the job. So that's where we will disagree.
But don't you think it's also because they have a lot of responsibility at the moment and they're unable to? I mean, let's say that out of the 3 captains right now, 2 of them have a fully fledged vision that they would like to implement. But
Sure.
right now they're doing P&T.
Yeah.
They're making sure forces are out there. They're making sure whatever the silly mental thing is happening. Do you know what I mean? They're making sure that cadets are getting taken out. They're making sure, then they've got issues with DAPs. I just see that their hands have been so full that that's why there's been no vision as well. So it's a double-sided, sword.
Well, it's less a double-sided sword, and the fact that they had a sword, looked at it, looked at their enemies, and decided, hey, maybe it would just be easier to fall on my sword instead. That problem that you just described is a problem of their own making. They have refused to
It's a
delegate.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
They have refused to delegate to people like you who have proven probably. I mean, you have no discipline points. I have been recommended you multiple times by other officers. You possess the ability, by definition of your SOPs and whatnot. You have the qualifications to be a not senior officer, at the very least a sergeant, and I would say maybe even above that. And that would allow you to operate more effectively, to potentially even have the power to solve these P&T issues, to be able to approve your own warrants, and instead of having to once again go to your captains
Hmm.
to through that bottleneck. And they refuse. They still don't trust you after 2 months. After working with you for even longer than that, how is that not enough time to evaluate someone like you?
I don't believe they don't trust us. The fact is, as you said, there's nowhere to go. They haven't said, you know what, let's at least open up the sergeant position because these people, A, B, and C, they're sergeant material. At any point, they could have just at least opened up one rank to give the people the recognition and to show those that are lower on the rank that you can move up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. I think we're at, as you've said, well, I think you've already done it. We're at a giant tipping point.
Mm-hmm.
And I will honestly say this, that whoever is commissioner or chief or assistant, I'll still work hard. I don't really care. I love my job. I
Mm-hmm.
moved back to the city on purpose and was extremely blessed to be given a position. And I'll work hard and, especially do my best for the city. That's what I do. It's what I've been doing for a long time.
I'm considering you for this position. I need you to know that. It's not easy. It's going to require a lot of hours, and we will talk more about that.
Yeah. Okay.
It is probably the most soul crushing job. Do you honestly think that you have what it takes?
Um, I think we would, if we got to the point where you had certain candidates that you were at the point, I think I would have to have a more serious talk in regard to the amount of times and the availability. And is that availability needed for that position? When it comes to plans, proposals, and things like that, that is my wheelhouse.
So you prefer administrative work?
No, I prefer a balance of both.
Well,
I there is
I
there
think a balance is good because I was talking about this with I think it was with you. Just hearing your commander in the field is huge, huge morale boost.
huge, huge. I'm telling you, if Captain Slacks walking up to one of our cadets saying your comms were amazing, you have no idea what that does to that person. It just lifts them up,
Mm-hmm.
and you need that in every department.
Yep. I think we're good. We've touched a lot of your concerns are kind of conclusions that my wife and I have reached.
Okay.
Your guys' program sucks dick. Pardon my language. It's terrible. Uh, I you're and I know you had no hand in shaping it, right?
No. I just was asked to delegate it. Yeah.
It's not a mentor program. It's a parole officer program. They check in once every 15 and 30 days or some shit, and then that's it. That's all they're required to do.
Yes. So I think a lot of people get a little bit jaded by it. The fact is, you could be a probationary officer, maximum of 60 days. The whole idea is that, which one portion I would change is that a mentor could be absolutely everybody. It doesn't anybody in the PD. It does not have to be an FTO. However, an FTO should do a 15-day and a 30-day check-in with you, but that
Mm-hmm.
FTO does not necessarily have to be your mentor because it may just not work with that person.
Right. What do you semi-relatedly to FTOs? How do you feel about uh, any rank above senior officer having to FTO required?
Uh, no.
Why not?
Uh, because there are some people that are just not suited to it. However, that person could be an expert in a certain field, and we can refer certain cadets that need additional help, for example, whether it be pursuits or whatever, you know what I mean? Like any type of area. But I believe that everybody in the PD, especially a rank senior plus, should be able to mentor somebody.
So FTO?
No,
No.
not FTO, where FTOs will literally take a cadet out every single day.
You don't think that people who are specialists in certain fields can't operate their duties to the maximum as a senior officer?
Not necessarily. No, that I don't think that's what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, and there are some people that do better as a well-rounded FTO, whereas there are others that are really good at teaching certain areas that they specialize in.
Okay. Um,
I think it's semantics back and forth here
yeah.
in regards to this.
Yeah, I think I my vision of a police department is, if you have people who are not able to look, because your job, it may have certain intricate workings, right? But for the most part, your rules are clearly defined. You have SOPs, you have the law, you have all the charges, you have processing, you have training. Okay, it, it's not a complicated thing. So when I hear, maybe there's a when I hear that someone could possibly hold a high rank in a police department like this, while simultaneously being unwilling to pass their knowledge on or to give their time and effort to training another generation of cops, to potentially achieve what they have achieved, it just tells me that they're lazy. And if they can't do something as simple as teaching this job to somebody where there is only one correct way to do it most of the time, I think it's a bad look, and I think it's greedy, honestly.
I could see that point of view.
That's just an idea I've been floating about. Look, I gotta go get some food.
Yeah. I can see that point of view.
Oh, it's you FTO, right?
Yes.
Do you like doing it?
Yes, but not every single day.
Of course not. You know, I honestly, I would not ever. Look, I'll admit it straight up. You know, if I was a cop, in adhering to the system that I outlined just now, I would never be more than a senior because I just don't think I'm a good teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. But teaching comes in different levels as well. I mean, it comes in different certification. It comes in learning how to drive certain cars, to drive certain vehicles, motorbikes. There's lots of other areas that people can teach. However, right now, our focus, of course, is on cadets.
Right.
So that may be something that we have to say, okay, everyone, we need your help in this area until we get to a certain point. And then, of course, the plan can change again once we're at a certain level.
You know,
and I think
that Ruby, that is the precise philosophy that I've been trying to preach at council, is that, you know, we can try these new laws and we can adjust if it's just not working, you know.
I agree. And I think that's where I was trying to explain the DAP system to the captains, which is we're at a point where it needs to change. Did it change to where I wanted it to be? So that people that have these there are people sitting with one DAPS for 60 days. It's bizarre.
Insane.
You know, but a little change is better than no change, right?
Absolutely. I've heard a common refrain from a lot of the cops that I've spoken to feel like they have little to no agency in affecting change because they feel like they're not being heard a lot of the time. Do you, I guess to round out this interrogation, how would you rate your experience in the LSPD on a 1 to 10 scale right now?
So for me personally, it's very different because I believe I have a different outlook and maybe personality and demeanor than others. Oh, whoa, calm down, lady. Mine right now is sitting at a solid 8.
It's pretty good.
But I think that's because I don't let the shit get to me. Does that make sense?
You've got the big picture in mind. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you've also been around the block.
Go to Senior Buns? I mean, we probably should. Probably should. That was a good combo, man. I'm just super digging, like, this whole process. See, the thing about choosing a commissioner is that there are out of character responsibilities as well, like being able to dedicate
yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
a certain amount of
I
time.
came to you with a lot of questions too, because at least you gave me straight
I was
answers.
actually around and gave you straight answers on
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Why are there's bullet holes in your car? But anyway,
Are there bullet holes in my car?
Are there?
there's a bullet hole in my door and there's one on the back.
Shit.
I don't see those.
Oh, I do. Oh, and there's one on the other side too. Goodness gracious.
I'm not kidding. There actually was. Holy shit. There really was gunshots then.
And you gotta be
thank
able
you for
to handle
talking to
like
me
the
because,
hoppers and shit, man. Like there's a lot that goes into it.
I'm the kind of person that watches and takes things in.
Right.
And of course, I've noticed you've met with a bunch of other people.
Yep.
I haven't met with any auditors yet. I did see Mr. Svensson as I was leaving to go and talk to you, and I apologized. I didn't have time to talk to him tonight.
You know, Owen is the one who booked me for terrorism.
Mr. Svensson is the only one that I remember from my last year and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a pretty memorable guy.
Yeah, I think he went to war. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a
Oh,
couple.
was he in Sanguine?
I have a feeling that he helped put some things together. Is what I was, do you know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah, help organize some of the troops. I don't know if he went himself. Do you know what I mean?
Had to kill some babies.
Well, thank you, folks. Thank you for the beautiful party today.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And listen,
we'll
no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what, I'm here to help. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
I will be in touch. I got to send you a couple of things.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, folks. Stay safe.
Love you, Ruby.
What up, my Australian friends?
One circuit board, please. One circuit board.
What do you fucking need a circuit board for?
Please, just take it out your phone for our grandson.
Please.
Bro, we don't have circuit boards.
Just one.
I'll give you some money. Hold on.
Sorry.
Oh, come here, man.
Oh, God.
I don't want no money. Need a circuit board.
I don't have circuit boards, man.
We're in the Great Depression right now. There's no damn circuit board.
Go work a fucking sanding job, bitch. Here, take the money.
Mom, don't say that.
They took my shit.
Why the fuck are they robbing you?
Because of the circuit board.
Circuit board.
It's the Los Santos gold. It's the gold mine. It's the gold rush. We need it. Please.
So why aren't you on the back of a truck right now?
Because I got robbed.
They robbed us.
Yeah, it's fucking bad out there, huh?
I got shanked. I can't go back there.
Who stabbed you?
I don't know.
Criminals.
You sounded very, very somewhat convinced you knew who it was before you said that.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone.
Like, just pick up the money, man.
Hey, we're humans too. Don't throw it at us.
Look, I don't want to get out of the car, man. These streets are fucking dangerous right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What if you guys?
Did you want to meet with Eric, by the way?
Yeah, we got to call. Go ahead and call him.
I'll call him.
I'm gonna take a little piss break and then we can get started on that.
Circuit boards? Wait, ask him if he has circuit boards.
Yeah, I'll ask him, boys. What's your guys' name?
What was that?
Nothing. Love you.
Hey, Barrick, are you available to meet in
You said Berg.
Did I say Barrick? I meant to say Barrick.
Yeah, you said Berg.
I'm so sorry, Barrick. Are you available to meet with the mayor and myself right now?
He is.
Okay, great. Where are you currently located? Oh, you're up north in the mountains.
Sounds perfect to me.
Perfect. We would love to see you there. Do you want to send me your, do you want to ping me? Okay, I'm 572.
Yeah, look at all these dead guys. Jesus.
Yep. Got it. Thank you. All right, we will.
Oh God.
See you. Wait, where the fuck is it? Wait, can you send it a second time? No,
Hi.
never mind. I figured it out. I found it north of the power plant.
Are you with
We will
Glorion?
see you there. Perfect. Thank you.
Are
See
you
you soon.
Hello.
Are you with Glorion?
Not with him right now, no, but I know where he is.
I just see his car right there. Is that you, Fiona?
Yeah.
Hey, what's good? What you doing right now? Nice box of assorted jewelry you got there.
It's a
Mm.
yeah, I got the stuff.
Right in front of the mayor, you got the
I got the
stuff.
Bro, I'm not. Why do people think I'm gonna snitch on them? I have no.
You
I have
got
nothing.
the
Obviously, I
stuff.
don't think you're gonna snitch. We're doing it right in front of you.
Okay, good. Look.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think
Why
we
would we, yeah, why would we do it?
All right, good. I'm feeling better about this now. I feel like they assume that I'm under the obligation to report shit like that.
They think that you're a mandated reporter.
Yeah. Weren't you a mandated reporter when you were a judge?
I was.
That's crazy, man. I get what you were saying about like being free from your shackles
Uh-huh.
and not being shackled again. Like I get it, man. I could not live like that. I couldn't.
Murphy could not take being roasted at his birthday party, and he shot a judge, and I had to call 911 to report it.
There was no spousal privilege?
No. So we weren't married. We weren't married.
Oh.
Oh, it's a fascio.
Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I used to have a Faggio jacket that I used to wear. With the green, like, you know which one I'm talking about? The big one?
No, I do not.
Really?
Is it puffy?
It was kind of puffy, but, like, it was more like a, what's that fabric? It's not jean. Actually, it might have been jean. I'm not sure.
Denim?
Denim.
A denim jacket?
It was, dark. It was like a bomber jacket. It was cool.
Had, like, the Faggio, like, logo on it?
Yep. It had a, you know, the, what's it called? The thing that they used to put on the British Air Force? The blue and red dot or whatever, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Really?
No.
The thing that
Wait,
they put
the
on
Air Force?
Yeah, the thing they put on Spitfires?
Oh.
The Rondell? Yeah,
Gargling?
it had that on that too. It was a green jacket. I like it a lot. I am going to rest my eyes briefly. If you want to start driving up there, you can.
Okay, give me the keys. Please.
Good luck.
What could go wrong?
Absolutely nothing could possibly ever go wrong.
I think Dan could totally appear right now, just like last time.
I will say I have an hour, so I won't be able to go to Storm with us. So
that's fine.
Yeah, if you obviously, if our conversation is a good one and it's not over in an hour, I want you to continue it, and because I trust that you'll
Take
ask
notes.
Yeah, I trust that you'll be able to ask the right questions and get the most out of that meeting. I will say that the meeting we just had with Ruby is the best one that we've had so far by far.
I agree.
Because she had ideas. She was able to identify the problems that we from the outside can see. She wasn't afraid to tell me what the problems were, which is another thing. You know, it was good. She was better than I expected by a long shot.
Oh, Ruby is absolutely stellar. I quite like her. I also used to give her a lot of legal advice back in the day as well. So like she's very articulate, and she actually knows how to convey what she is intending to say. Like, she knows how to choose her words carefully.
The question is, can she be hard?
Oh no, she can absolutely be stern.
I mean,
when necessary.
Honestly, the first time I met her, she yelled at me. So.
See?
All right, I'm gonna rest my eyes up.
Okay, go ahead. I'm fine. This is great.
Dragon Ops, thanks for subbing. I will return shortly.
Everything's fine. Okay, alright. It's fine. We're fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Not a curb. What is the best way to get up there? Thanks. Hey.
How's it going? Sorry? That was really nice. Yeah, it's one of very few places where you can see the sunset and sunrise. Oh no, you can take your time.
Sorry about that.
I'm back, boys. Barrick Johnson.
Mr. Mayor, how's it going?
It's going good, man. Nice cigarette.
Thanks. It's been out for a very long time, but you know.
Mine's a
don't
vape.
really, you know. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, congrats. That's great. I'm happy for you. Those things are apparently really expensive.
Yep. How long you been up here?
10, 15 minutes.
Word. How's the city been today?
Not too bad. I haven't been out there too much. Pretty much as soon as I got on duty, it was time for your wedding. So.
What'd you think of I heard from Ruby that Cantor got shot.
She did, yeah.
Is that what you and your cadet were looking at?
Yeah, we were just asking around, seeing if anybody had seen like the vehicle in question that we believe got her. So,
So
which to no avail, obviously.
is she in the ICU?
As far as I'm aware, yeah. I believe both her and her friend are. Yeah.
Well, speedy recovery to both of them.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know when your guys' next meeting is, but I don't know how
Saturday.
that would work with that.
We already have. I think Mike is going to be potentially unavailable, and Malton is unavailable for that one. So if Cantor's also unavailable, we might just skip a week.
Yeah, that might be a solid choice.
Alternatively, if I were an ambitious and power hungry fellow, I would insist that it continues anyway, with them abstaining on whatever gets brought to the table.
That certainly is an option, I imagine. But, and it speaks heavily to you that you're considering postponing it. So.
Okay, so I imagine you know what I need to talk to you about. Have you had a chance to talk to any of the auditors at length?
At length, not really. No.
Who'd you speak to?
I know all of them from like years ago. So we've touched base a little bit, but not entirely.
Who have you spoken to?
Pretty much just Svensson. And I've spoken to Malton in passing, but not like a real sit-down conversation at any point.
What do you think of them?
And I mean, they're all great people. They all have very valuable information, and they're all people whose opinions I very much hold to the highest degree.
So you welcome their presence then, because you think that it will be beneficial to your department on large, or?
Yeah, I mean, I sat in a room with Svensson, basically. I don't know if you would call it interrogating, but just question after question after question after question toward Slacks and Turner the other day. Ooh. And it reminded me very much so of, the good old days and Svensson being sheriff. And
yeah, I heard he was sheriff.
He has some very good qualities that I look very highly upon. So he's able to take things and just rip them apart and constantly just fire off questions that are really heavy hitters. So
what did you think of their ability to answer his questions?
Some are very political,
right?
And they definitely believe in what they're doing, for sure.
Do you believe
they were
in what
also
they're doing?
receptive to feedback?
Sorry, I gotta hit you with that one right away. Normally I wait until toward the end there.
I do, but it's definitely going to be a long process, for sure.
What would you do if you were in their position? If you had the power to make decisions on the fly, if you were above them, say in a commissioner role, what would you do differently?
Well, first of all, it's just like a training thing. I think we need to have some kind of boom in terms of numbers out on the streets. Now, how we would go about doing that is probably an elongated and pretty brutal process, but I think it would be worth it in the end. Just like very heavy interviews to get a solid amount of people, and then probably a very, very heavy academy, and then really push people out.
Who's operating academies? Is this a captain thing?
Generally, yeah, but more recently it's become like the seniors for the most part.
When was the last one?
Each shift has different ones essentially when they're ready. So shift 3s was like 3-4 weeks ago. Probably 3 at most.
Okay, so a sign of
shift 2's
delegation.
got one coming up.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's in like March 3rd or some shit, right?
Yeah, I think it's like the 8th or 9th or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got a list of standard questions I want to ask you.
Okay.
And then I typically improvise based on what your answers are.
Sure.
Do you feel like you are able to carry out your duties to the fullest of your potential, given the current state of the LSPD?
No.
Where do you feel you are being held back? Damn, he actually said no. Damn.
I mean, there's a lot of different things. First of all, being like very much just the equipment that we have to begin with.
Right.
Like I'm somebody that is, not to like pump myself up, but flying is very much what I care the most about.
Sure.
And it's what I enjoyed the most years ago. And it's a very important, integral part to me. And it's what I feel that I'm best at in terms of my, skills in terms of out in the field. But
Can you, so I assume you were talking about like a helicopter?
helicopters, jets, planes, but that's it.
Damn, you fly planes?
Yeah.
Damn, okay. So do you have any experience flying the helicopter and giving off communications at the same time?
Probably too much.
Okay, that's a good trait to have. Do you think that the presence of a helicopter like that would potentially escalate things on the street? Because I know from, I used to be a criminal way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
When they would bring out Air One was kind of random. And look, I'm not, whatever happens out there on the streets, however
Yeah.
it's going to go down that way regardless. But I do know, speaking from the perspective of a formerly desperate man who was doing things to make money that were not necessarily legal, oftentimes hearing those helicopter blades was a death knell. It felt that the situation almost immediately got hopeless. Do you think that reintroducing that sort of element to your ability to enforce the law might potentially make it more dangerous for you to enforce the law?
I think definitely at the time that you speak of, I can understand how that was, but I don't think it would make too much of a difference this time. If anything, it would just expand the amount of time the chases go on, probably.
And I know that's
people are already swapping. People are already doing all that when we don't have the means to really pursue them to begin with. So with something else there, that essentially is just going to make it more difficult for them to be able to escape. So I'm not saying it should be used for a lot of things, but there are definitely uses, especially in the future. I imagine that we will need it.
I subscribe to a. We're gonna move on. I think that you are cool. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So
I appreciate that. Likewise.
The answer is no. You cited a lack of air oversight as being limiting to your. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I know from hearing from other seniors and hearing from your captains to a lesser degree that a new policy has kind of been adopted, where you will call off a chase if it is deemed too potentially dangerous. And if Air One it will be the main factor in extending those. Do you think? What I'm trying to ask is, what do you feel about that policy? How do you feel about calling off a pursuit because it's gone on too long and their crime necessarily does not warrant a chase until the very end? Like, do you believe that there are chases that should be called off?
To a certain extent, under the proper circumstances, 100%. Like, if we're chasing, like, somebody that just fled from a traffic stop, and they're like swapping cars and this, that, and the other, they're essentially making life like really dangerous for a lot of civilians. And then something else happens, like somebody's getting kidnapped across the city. Yeah, I think we should completely pull off that like
What if nothing else is
If,
happening?
if nothing else is happening, then no, probably not. If there's no other priority, no. Because if there's no other priority, then that person fleeing is the most dangerous person, the best we can tell right now.
Right.
So we should continue to pursue them.
Have you ever witnessed a chase being called off when there was nothing else going on?
Yep.
Was that frustrating for you?
I watched the chase. God bless Denzel. Rest his soul. Well, he's not dead, but
He'll be back.
Anyway, yeah, he'll be back. Watched him begin a pursuit with a car, turn to oncoming traffic, go into proper lanes, then turn to oncoming traffic again, and he called off the pursuit because he was too scared of getting dabbed for his actions or letting the pursuit go on.
Was this when he was in his 9 DAP era?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The man was. I spoke to the man several times. He was fucking terrified to do his job.
And that's probably like, so the current, and I know the current tier of problems for the LSPD, I would rank fear to do your job as number 3. The other 2 are the unavoidable ones, like retention and hiring and training, P&T. Those 2 are kind of like, those are the giga problems. Those are the ones that will always exist in some shape or form, because ultimately the unpredictability of people, you could hire the greatest cop potential trainee ever. They're acing everything. They're fucking perfect at pursuing. They're perfect at communications. They're perfect at report writing, whatever. And then they just don't show up one day. They're just gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that sucks, right? But I see that third one, the tier 3, the DAP system, as if it has a direct and negative impact on morale and retention in like terrible fucking ways.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's I definitely think it's too restrictive for sure.
What do you have any DAPs?
No, I don't. But here's the reality, and I was trying to explain this to the captains on several different occasions. You could pretty much pinpoint any singular person within the police department, and if they are micromanaged and observed every single second, as some of the other people that have made mistakes have, those people are going to get like the DAPs will just line up.
Do you think you've done things that would qualify for discipline action? Just like out in the field?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Like small things.
Right.
Yeah, that are just fucking stupid and ridiculous, but they don't actually matter in the grand scope. Like Hornwood,
he fucked
the extra 13 bullets in that guy. That's unacceptable. One would have been fine. Absolutely. I would do that 100% of the time.
Right.
I used to drop out of the helicopter onto the freeway and just double tap somebody who was on the ground. It's common. It's a very common thing. Like, it's not.
You did not. You did not double tap
like
somebody who's already on the ground.
Like a
absolutely.
with a parachute, like out of a helicopter, or what?
Oh no, I would just land the helicopter on the freeway behind them and shoot them and then get back up. But
okay.
Anyway. Yeah, because you never know. You gotta help it. You gotta look at every situation and be like, what does this need? And gotta make a split second decision.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
don't know. It's definitely too restrictive, and some things can be made. Can be little non-issues will just escalate the more that they're talked about. Just through the game of telephone, and it'll get some people in real serious trouble, unfortunately.
How do you feel about so which shift are you? 3, 2?
3.
Which captain have you had the most experience working under?
Turner and Slacks.
Which one is the one you've worked with most?
Turner is my shift, but I probably had the most time. It's hard to say because Turner had that gap of time that he was gone.
About a month.
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks to a month. But I don't know. I don't know what the exact amount of time is. We were just keeping our heads down, doing our jobs at the time. But anyway, yeah, I'd say probably Turner. Yeah.
How do you feel about his capabilities as a captain? Are there
Yeah,
just generally speaking, how do you feel about his capabilities?
I feel like he's very much the middle ground of the three, as Slacks is extremely lenient. Ruth is not lenient whatsoever, and he's kind of in the middle, for sure.
Have you ever questioned any of his decisions in the field or like on an administrative level?
In the field, no. Administratively, no. It's also hard to say because I don't witness a lot of this stuff. Like
Sure.
I'm not somebody that's in that kind of context until I started to see issues, I suppose, or be told about issues that I went like poking around for anything in particular. So,
What do you feel about the mayor's office getting involved in the oversight of the LSPD?
I think it's great. Initially, I was a bit shaky on it, but I think it's very good. Because if we're going to build an entire department that's based on accountability and everybody being held accountable by someone else, then they should have somebody that is above them, just like they're above everyone else.
Your captains would argue that the state is above them, therefore they do not require someone like a mayor, or rather, I guess in this case, it would be just me because the act expires at the end of my term, right? They were super opposed to the idea. Why do you think that was?
I mean, people are always afraid to lose what they have, or regardless if they're willing to admit it or not. A large part, unless people are doing something for years and years and years and years, people will be afraid to lose what they have. And whether that's power, whether that's the ability to do something or have something, have knowledge,
Nice.
this, that, and the other, it's the reality. People are, also people don't like change.
Yep.
People
True.
are very unwilling to change.
That's kind of something that I've been noticing on the council. My wife probably has noticed it as well. She's only had the opportunity to actually sit in that chair for one council meeting, but she was my note taker for the two previous to that. There is a certain faction on the council that is super status quo, afraid to make radical changes, just stuff that's never been tried before. I shouldn't say radical, just new stuff, because they're afraid of how it's going to affect the future. What if someone abuses this? What if someone does this and that and this and that and this and that? They're scared. They're scared. I'm fucking rambling. I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
It's all good. It's understandable.
Yeah, I agree with you on the I mean, I'll just be frank. I know for a fact that Brooke Ruth is probably afraid of losing power. I don't know if I could say the same about Turner. It seems like that he is working in tandem with her in probably most decisions that are made. Slack seems a bit more lax, as you've observed as well. He seems more willing to err on the side of forgiveness, which I will say is probably, especially during a time like this when your department is struggling, numbers wise, that is the route that needs to be taken. Yeah, you can. Yeah. And if you are, I mean, I didn't even hear that Denzel story until you said it just now. Just being so afraid to do your job because
chilling effect.
Yeah, my wife has outlined that perfect. The chill. You know what the chilling effect is?
I do not. I'm not familiar.
Tell them.
Maybe I do, but not.
You're so afraid of other legislative or punitive action in some way that you functionally cannot perform your role.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Can I call you back? Having a meeting. Okay.
Yeah. Normally, that chilling effect is a threat that comes from a Department of Justice because you are afraid. So in the past, I know that cops in Los Santos have enjoyed qualified immunity. They do not enjoy qualified immunity now because there's no precedent for it. And there might be one day, who knows? Regardless, normally cops are afraid of retribution from the courts and not from their superiors, right? You get what I'm saying? So the chilling effect is something that there is no safe spot for you guys to go down and be like, listen, man, this is fucked. You have to watch your back. Even like your biggest opponent is potentially your superiors. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked.
Yeah.
There's also a bit of a feeling that I get of some people at each other's throats to a certain extent.
Have you where have you observed the throat getting primarily? Like during which shift or which officers are kind of
one?
Yeah, I mean, I just heard that from Ruby too. So
yeah, there's definitely I don't feel that there is at least in terms of the police department, feel that there's a culture difference between 2 and 3 that much, but there definitely is between 1 and 2 and 1 and 3.
Why do you think Shift 1 has such a different culture?
I mean, just to be completely honest, it starts with each shift emulates their captain.
Sure.
And that's just how it is. So, and how they feel about things and how they operate and do things stems from the top down to the seniors, from seniors on to everyone else as well. So,
are you familiar with the process by which seniors are chosen? Like, is that a decision that is made by all 3 captains, or are the captains given the power to choose their own seniors in their own shifts?
I assume it's just the captains choose who they want to be seniors.
So there's probably no group meeting where they're like, okay, I'm thinking about promoting this guy as senior. What do you guys think? How could they possibly provide any insight on that person, right? Because they're not even around each other, you know. So it probably is just a single captain decision. So so that means that Brookworth has surrounded herself with people who are willing to enforce. Why do you think you were chosen as senior?
Because I have a very solid fundamental police work and very even head on my shoulders.
Are you?
Whereas some other people might not.
Do you?
And I am always going to make sure, without question, before anybody is punished or talked to about something, get every single potential side of the story. Meaning, like, side A, which is what one person thinks happened. Side B, which is what other person thinks happened. And then take all the bits and bobs from those, and then find side C, which is the likelihood of reality of what actually happened.
So, love that. So you were at the Cornwood review, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that review taking place even before Shift 2 started?
I think it was stupid. I understand it functioned around like the captain's schedule and everything, but you could easily just schedule it ahead of time and so more people could be there.
Right.
Instead of just, on the day or the day before.
So in that meeting, I made some inquiries of your captains, and I was primarily, well, first of all, that meeting was when I discovered that Ruth was suspended. And I misspoke out loud, and I ended up being right, where I said she suspended herself, because I assume that's how it had to happen, right? Because they're all the same rank. They probably, who else could do it, right?
Yeah.
But Captain Turner spoke up and, in quotes, corrected me and said that she did not suspend herself. What do you think about a man that's so willing to lie like that to someone like me, the mayor, and auditors, council members, yourself, his superior, or not his superior, his subordinates? Why do you think he lied?
Well, I think the likelihood of the scenario, I can't speak to why he lied, air quotations, but the reality is everybody's interpretation of something is going to be different. So they said, or this is how I interpret it. They said that the 3 of them had talked about that if this situation arose, then she would be suspended or something like that. And they didn't have a specific time for this. My understanding is she just took it into her own power and just went straight at it, which By
These
the
questions
way,
are so
I
loaded. Yeah,
don't know why
they're
that
loaded on
happened.
purpose.
She's only required to do that when charges are actually put on the docket, which myself and Xavier have not done yet. We still have to interview the other two captains.
Wait, you're the one handling that shit?
Yeah.
Damn. How's that going?
Mentally, it's definitely sitting on me because regardless of the outcome, I will probably be frowned upon by her for the foreseeable future. So
That's okay. She won't always be your boss.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just asked myself, like, if I don't do this, is anybody else going to? And the general answer was no, probably not. 'Cause most people are going to.
Spider-Man's values. With great power
Right,
comes
too.
great responsibility.
And
There you
that
go.
I just look. Obviously, this is a bit self-serving, because I think she's a terrible cop, and an even worse understander of how this fucking woman, man, in my office before the council meeting, declared with the utmost confidence that the police department was a branch of government.
An equal branch of government.
So,
like same as like legislative and all that. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
so it like.
okay. All right.
a lot of crazy things were said at me. Regardless, proud of you for taking that, because the trend that I've noticed so far, insofar as accountability is concerned, they haven't been held accountable for a single thing yet. Whereas people like you, I mean, obviously since you don't have any discipline points, but there are people out there who I believe were being targeted by Brooke Ruth.
I would be in the same boat. I have not been able to, and that's why, like, I can't provide like evidence of this, which is why it's hard for me to fully explain this Langston Turner as I've tried to, like 2 times now, and I feel like I'm putting myself out there to criticism by doing this, like saying, hey, like, this is a massive problem. For an example, like the high command panel just felt very swayed of like against Cornwood, and I felt like Denzel basically being made an example of when a lot of his mistakes were easily correctable things, especially like probably weren't even dab worthy. It's like the punishment should have just been something like run some laps or something along those lines, like, or there's just a lot of fundamental problems with that, like not even trying to get these people the assistance to help them grow and better themselves, and it just, I don't know.
So
a big problem.
it was punishment and then no corrective, like, behavior. Like I get the punish, like, so that was the process that was being followed with Denzel. Then is that he was just being punished, and you don't think that they were speaking with him about how to correct that behavior?
In Denzel's case, I have no idea.
Okay.
What
about
but I would assume probably not. 'Cause it very much screams to me that they're breaking people down and not trying to build them up.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Every police department that I'm sure you've ever been a part of, every police department that I've ever heard of, can't believe I'm saying this without throwing up, but the thin blue line exists for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just, especially in a time like this, we don't have like the manpower to just be. I understand people make mistakes and they need to be held accountable, but at the same time, and it's not crucify them without trying to help them. And if they continue to make mistakes in the same, cardinal, just massive mistakes, then they have to go, sure. But if they're like first times making these
confirmed Moon's a
mistakes or
Republican
issues, like,
no,
help them understand and help them figure out what exactly they're supposed to be doing. And it's just gets me real passionate thinking about stuff like that. So
yeah, same. So passionate, in fact, that I'm rambling instead of interviewing you, which is the purpose of this meeting. So what do you think about Slacks as a captain? His capabilities.
I mean, he definitely makes some mistakes, mostly of the word variety.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that anybody's perfect and wouldn't make mistakes, even the people in those positions, is just like clinically false. I do think when it comes to seeing the good and the potential in people, that's where he really shines, and bringing people together out in the field. I think that's where he really shines 100%.
Mm-hmm. And what about Ruth in your experiences with her?
Now this is hard. Like, my experiences with her are very limited,
Mm-hmm.
and they consist of just basic questions about something that's happening within the department. But however, everything that I hear, like through the grapevine and from other people, makes it out to be like she's fucking Voldemort or some shit. So it's yeah, like she who shall not be named, that whole thing. But it's really interesting.
That's a very apt descriptor. Very apt.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be good for the role of commissioner? And the role of commissioner is effectively the big boss for the police department. And the role of commissioner would not answer to me, but rather the Fed, when they would have to answer to anybody.
I assume you mean of the seniors, because that was like the
Just anyone.
outline.
Yeah, seniors plus, actually. Yeah. I really
Myself
want
and
him.
Ruby.
Yeah, I was about to say, I really want him to say himself. Yeah, I gotta say, internally, before you answer that question, I was like, man, I really want this guy to say himself, because a lot of people lack the decisive nature to put themselves forward like that. So I'm impressed. I will say, you have been recommended by several senior officers. You've not been recommended by any of your captains. That's it. I really haven't had a
They
chance.
all recommended themselves. So.
They sure as fuck did. They sure as fuck did, man. I just had a great conversation with Ruby. I see both of you.
Yeah, she's great.
I see both of you as leadership, in my eyes. And honestly, I think it's you guys, because you guys have been seniors for the same length of time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a travesty that you have not been entrusted with additional responsibility, because essentially what that says about your captains is they don't fully trust you to carry out the job. Because if you can't take 2 months to evaluate people like you and people like Ruby who've not been disciplined at all for a promotion, that what's the holdup? Why are you holding off? The only explanation I can see is that they don't trust you guys. And why the fuck don't they trust you at that point? I don't know.
I can give you one reason.
What?
It's a super secret word that has plagued the police departments for years. And will for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the B word.
Bitch.
Bloat.
Bloat.
Yeah.
So they're afraid that promoting you would ultimately lead to you being inactive and then showing up later. And
It's the only it's only logistical real reason I can see for like going through the ranks like very slowly.
don't
I don't
they
have a
demote
problem
people?
with. I've started over many times, so I'm no new one in the race. But it's yeah, that's the only logistical reason I can think of.
Why do you think Ruby would be good for the commissioner role?
I think she's generally pretty level-headed, very knowledgeable, very. Also, I'm just gonna say that, like, you know, wouldn't be bad to have a woman up there, for sure.
True, but I'm gonna say straight up, her being a woman has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, but
yeah, absolutely.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, Yeah, I think she's real solid all around.
And why do you recommend yourself?
I just feel like I've sat by and watched so many, in the least like biblical way possible, so many departments just rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall. And I feel like I've been able to kind of assume and accumulate all the knowledge that I've kind of taken from them and just sponged all together to not make the same mistakes that they have in the past, and also take all the good things that they did do and fully blend them all together to put something together that would be real nice. Not just for everybody that would be within the police department, but everybody within the city as a whole.
Would you be able to operate within shift 2 if you were given that role?
Oh, without question. I'm a degenerate.
Okay.
The only reason I stay within my shift, or primarily, is because they need me.
Yeah, they do need you.
And without question, like, I understand that, you know, I would be needed at other times, and I'm very ready for that responsibility should the opportunity come my way.
Next question.
'Cause I've passed up stuff like that in the past because I did not feel that I was ready.
Sure.
And I felt that there were other people within the department that were better for the job. But
You've passed up what exactly?
just put like higher ranking positions in the past, like lieutenants and you know, stuff like that, because I just felt that other people were more suitable for the job at the time, and I still was very much just wanting to learn from everyone. And you know,
That's very
my time
wise.
away and my time in exile, if you will, I do not feel that way any longer.
Do you a role like that requires a lot of tenacity. It requires a lot of strength, of character, and of will, because there will be times that you might be seen as the enemy by your own people for hard decisions that need to be made. And if something goes wrong in the field, maybe one of your officers fucks up, you might even get the same treatment that Slacks has been getting. You know, getting yelled at by filthy freaking crimers and stuff. How do you rate your ability to weather that storm?
What's the scale?
I guess 1 to 10. 10 being you are the most experienced ship captain this side of the Mississippi.
Well, I mean, if it's steering the ship in the stormy waters, I'm gonna have to say it's really up there. It's really up there. It's close to 10, because I personally, none of that shit affects me, and we very much walk around, and we are punching bags. So it does not bother me even in the slightest, to be honest, because I've had to deal with it in the past, and I don't know, maybe years ago it had some kind of effect, but not anymore.
Okay. I think that's about it.
'Cause the sun, at the end of the day, no matter what people say, the sun's gonna go down and it's gonna come up, and if it doesn't, we're gonna have a real fucking problem.
True. Good luck on your Ruth investigation. I'm gonna be honest. So you are what is the actual capacity that you have in that position? Why were you brought on?
I was approached by the prosecutor and asked to assist in the investigation, kind of be the maybe not lead, if you will, but the investigative party.
You were asked to be the sponsoring officer.
Yeah, to provide all the evidence, to interrogate all 3 captains, and determine if there really is something here to pursue.
The best way to pursue this would be to get a subpoena over phone record. But I'm sure Xavier's already talked to you about that.
Yeah.
Okay. I have enjoyed our conversation. I'm pleased with your answers. One final question. Okay.
Sure.
Being commissioner, you would essentially have the ability to promote, demote, basically set up your own chain of command. right?
Sure.
However you see would be most fit and effective. Who do you see being your right and left hand, so to speak?
Are we talking for just within the LSPD?
Yeah.
And the commissioner, that was something I wanted to ask you as well. Like, where you see the commissioner on this totem pole? Is the commissioner something that's above, like the LSPD or the sheriff's office in the future, or anything along that, or do you see it as kind of that, like, chief of police kind of role?
So right now, I see it as a chief of police-esque role. I have flirted with the idea of having the commissioner kind of be being unable to have any sort of fealty so that they could act as no departmental fealty, so that they can act as like an arbiter for, if any decisions can't be reached by the respective commands of those departments, then they could go to the commissioner and be like, hey, we need help, whatever. Right now, it's just going to be for the LSPD until other departments do open up. Yeah.
Let's say in the scenario that it was essentially, like you said, departmentless and kind of this overseer. I would consult this person, but the first couple of things that I would consider would be putting somebody in that chief of police role and fixing this, like, shift one culture thing.
Okay. How would you do that?
Well, whoever gets put into that chief of police role needs to be able to push their beliefs in their, well, I guess beliefs is the only word I can think of to put it. Beliefs
Their vision
upon all three shifts. Yeah, because we cannot dictate how the culture of the city is going to be during all 24 hours of the day, but we can dictate how we will be.
Yep.
And to have consistency across the board, across all three phases, is imperatively critical to me.
And you feel like shift one is lacking in that consistency?
Compared to the other two shifts, yeah.
Okay. I guess more accurately, they do not subscribe to the same vision as the other shifts.
Yeah.
But speaking in terms of personnel, who would you see yourself working close with if you had the opportunity to promote them to positions that would allow you to work with them?
This may be an unpopular opinion, but I would leave it up to a vote within the police department.
For
like a chief of police.
Oh no! So
chief of police.
I like the idea of a vote being held for chief of police, especially if there is a position like commissioner that has the final say on stuff.
Yeah.
But I think less like on a macro level, but rather I guess no, macro is the correct term. Just like personnel wise, who do you get along with the best?
I mean, I get along with a lot of the shift 3 folk because I spend the most time around them. There's a lot of shift 2 folk that I get along with very well
give me
as
names.
In terms of shift 3, like I get along with Rhodes, Lucas, Alice, Sky, Flop, etc. You name it. Shift 2, Bones. I don't have too many interactions with McNulty, but it does happen. Obviously Ruby, Viv in shift 1, Anita in shift 1. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot. Now, I'm not saying that all these people I would promote into certain like roles, because I think everybody has specific strong suits and weaknesses, and you need to very much assess that and where you place them or put them. Like Cornwood, for an example, he's destined, like everywhere you look out here, he's destined to be here. He's destined to be up here. And putting him in some kind of role where, he'll be like stuck in the city or something like that would be doing a disservice to him.
Okay.
Now, does he deserve some kind of higher rank? He definitely I believe has the right mindset for sure. But
You
one
don't
way
thi-
or another,
you don't
all of his roads will lead here.
to the country.
Yeah.
I like the idea of another department. Honestly, I floated an idea where we would put the 3 captains' visions up against the visions of a different department and see which one flourished the best. It seems a bit redundant now with everything going on with the audit and stuff.
Yeah.
I like Cornwood. I think he has room for improvement.
As everybody does. If any single person in this world thinks that they've learned everything and is just this perfect fucking human being, then they need to get the fuck out of their own ass and look themselves in the mirror for at least 10 to 12 hours a day until they figure out what's what, because they're full of fucking shit.
Mm-hmm. You have any questions for me before we wrap up here? I want to make it entirely clear. I am here for you guys. I'm genuinely trying to understand how we can get these gears moving. It seems like I'm seeing more movement on the PD side than I've seen in months after this act passed, and even before that.
Well, I mean, regardless of what happened, you certainly lit a fire under the captain's asses to actually get stuff moving. So one way or another.
Yeah, I spoke to Bones yesterday, or was it yesterday, Siobhan?
You spoke to Bones on 2/27.
So that would be Tuesday. And he told me straight. He was like, "Listen, I'm gonna be honest, man. I thought you were a fucking communist. I thought you were gonna come in. You know, I was worried you were gonna show up to scenes that we were leading and then tell us to, do something a certain way, stuff like that. That's not my intention by any means. Honestly, I feel like I maybe overstepped a little bit in overruling Roof's decision. Fortunately, I have good grounds for doing so. Or at least good in my eyes. Good for the future of Los Santos. Good for the future of your department. Is why I stepped in. I really don't want to do anything like that in the future. So if you could do me a freaking solid, and I'm not asking you to proselytize for me. Just do your best to, if you hear people grumbling about the oversight from the mayor's office, which is not permanent, just try to help me put their fears at ease. If you come across anyone who is concerned
and
about...
I already have been, to be fair.
Have you?
Like, yeah, I mean, and everybody that bitches and complains, I just straight up tell them, like, as soon as the commissioner is elected, like, it's not something you have to worry about.
Yeah, and I'm working on
that. That is the way that it was written and laid down. So,
I just...
And
just
people are going to bitch and complain, and it's just how... It's a huge part of life, but while it's necessary to listen to them to some extent and hear them out, also people just will oftentimes take the worst of situations without looking at everything else, when there could definitely be some good.
If you come across any of these doomsayers or whatever, urge them to talk to me directly, because apart from Jeffrey Bones, I haven't heard anyone who has a problem with this, apart from the people who voted no at the council meeting. Regardless, yeah, literally just be like, hey, mayor wants to hear from you. Talk to his ass. Clear some fucking misconceptions up.
Yeah, I mean, some people are... I mean, it's the same reason we've kind of come into this problem to begin with. People are very scared to speak their mind.
Why the fuck are they, man? People need to be honest and open. They do.
And to a certain extent, people are just fucking pussies. Like, it's that...
True.
It's that simple.
They fucking are pussies. All right, man. I think we're good. Siobhan, did I miss any questions?
Nope, you got everything. Good job.
Sick. Barrett, call me whenever you need.
Yeah, absolutely. Likewise.
I am going to go find some public Wi-Fi to play some D&D with my old prison buddies.
All right. Have a good one. Take care.
Car's yours, Beb. Don't wreck it.
Thanks. Have fun.
I love you. Happy Marriage Day.
I love you. Happy Marriage Day. Have fun playing. I hope you get a bunch of not 20s.
I think we're almost done talking to seniors. I think that might have been the Oh, it's canceled? No. Oh well. Oh, too late now. Wait, let's see the Hold on. I want to see the clip. I'm guessing this is Barrack. Oh god. A combat roll? Was that a deagle? Kind of fuck the hot drop. Yeah, the problem with getting out of vehicles in GTA, especially in like a helicopter, bro, it takes your character literally like 4 seconds to get the fuck out. So it's kind of hard to anticipate what the other guy's doing. 3.0 looks so much better than 4.0. Better in some respects, but at the same time, this is probably pretty far into its lifetime, so. Oh, you're talking about like the actual appearance of what's going on, like the graphics and stuff. My graphics settings are ass, that's why. Yeah, my graphics settings are pretty ass on purpose. You see Cantor get clapped? Yes, evil guy. Yes. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Thoughts on Ruby v. Barrack for commissioner? I'll give you guys my thoughts another time. I think they're both great, though. Okay, bye.